What is up, YouTube? My Cowboys family here, bringing you guys the latest update on our very own Dallas Cowboys. And of course, as always, thank you so much for joining us here tonight. Take a second to hit like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, follow us anywhere and everywhere at My Cowboys Family, and of course, hop in the Discord, link for that's in the description box down below. And it's been, quite the quiet week here on the Cowboys front, but we do have quite a few things to talk about tonight, and of course, some shout outs especially to give out.
Yeah, we got that coming here. Of course, we missed the last couple of days because this is not much news out there, right, guys? So
it's been a bit of a quiet
weekend for sure. Weekend. Yeah, very quiet. I mean, on the little Dak talk there, which we'll get into today, but there's a couple other things we do want to touch on before we close the book on this week and start a new week tomorrow here for the Cowboys and, of course, here on My Cowboys Family. So, yes, time to open the things up here and see who is representing this board probably one last time here this week. So, without further ado, baby, let's give the shout-outs there to the people running it like the sponsor of the week.
Showing the love. McLovin, thank you so much. Not just representing as the sponsor of the week, he's also the Cash App King.
Ooh.
And Jason Renfro just holding on to that stream boss with 7 points.
Yeah.
And speaking of holding on, he is currently the Gifting Membership King 5 weeks in a row, although it seems like that crown might be passing on, thanks to the man Skeptical Fan who dropped a pre-stream gifted membership. Congrats there to Dustin Roberts.
Ooh, so right there, you can see right above right now, Skeptical Fan is the current leader on the gifting board. Mm-hmm. And then you look, not just there, but he also dropped a $2 thanks drop. So big shout out to Mr. Skeptical Fan for his thanks drop earlier, when we were off, or this earlier today. So big appreciation for him. And let me see if I remember what he said properly here. Make sure I don't miss anything. He just said, I think the Cowboys, there's a high probability the Cowboys lose week 1 against the Browns, which again, I can't say no to that.
Very tough defense against
tough
a very raw and untested offense as far as like all of it put together, and especially considering, remember, what were most of our draft moves? Offensive linemen who are, going to be very green heading up against, we've already talked about it. They're very top tier.
Our first pick there against Myles Garrett, that's the big one. Anyway, Skeptical, thank you for the thanks drop and the gifted membership. When I go through this list here, Skeptical is in the lead on the gifted board by 1 over none because he's got 1. Nobody else has any this week. While McLovin's holding down that crown of the sponsor week, the Cash App crown for 2 weeks in a row back to back, he's currently not the leader. In fact, the leader, again, we really have much going on, but the leader currently on both boards is Gloria still hanging on. This could be her first victory here on the gifting board, on the Cash App board and the sponsor week board. So we'll see what happens. But tonight's the last night to try to take over, and it's not a big difference here. I think she's up there maybe 5 over Seabass, 10 over Seabass, a couple over SCO 971. So, anyone can be caught tonight. Tonight is the final night. Anyone can be caught. So much love to Gloria leading the Cash App board and the overall sponsor of the week board.
That's right.
Much love to her. Oh, and also, I'm going to go back to that because there's different ways of dropping the love here. But first, there it is. There's some love dropped by the man from Hawaii. Aloha to the great Mark Hovsepian.
I appreciate you, of course. Much love. Do you know what he had to say with his $8 holler?
What did he say? Oh, it was an 8.
Oh, boy. I think Skeptical Fan's drop might have blocked it out.
Oh, I see. He tried to take the top over there.
Yes.
Jason now has 4. Skeptical had 1 too. I didn't see that. So Skeptical dropped a $3 looks like a super sticker.
Yes, he did, with the big old thumbs up and a Go Cowboys.
Reminds everybody to hit that the thumbs up button, the like button here for the stream with a $3 holler. Much love to Skeptical Fan. And then we got Mark Hovsepian dropping an $8 holler.
Yeah, I think that's why you saw Mark's, but I think they hit at the same time.
See.
But Mark said with his $8
holler. Yeah, the
holler.
Aikman $8 holler. What did the man say?
Let's face it, we are screwed. Jerry Jones is an idiot. Well, he's feeling very proud of himself with his Netflix special since we were watching some other stuff on Netflix earlier with the family. And it made me think back to part of the Tom Brady roast, too, where, do you think that Jerry would be down to do what Robert Kraft did, or you know what I mean? Like that.
Hell
no
no
way.
Hell
no
no.
way.
Hell no.
Jerry can handle that.
We're in the clown world. We're in the clown show. We can't run. There's not much we can do from that, unfortunately.
So, and the only reason I say that is because Jerry's feeling proud as a peacock with his Netflix series or documentary or whatever it is that they have in the works to document the life of Jerry Jones and all the greatness of the Cowboys and all that stuff.
Yeah, it's a whole, a whole Jerry Jones horn tooting. It's gonna be. We're gonna watch it, but we know what to expect. Jerry Jones, the greatest GM, owner, football, and football mind of all time. That's probably what's gonna be in that Netflix special, along with the cheerleader special, and then other specials and Cowboy stuff. So yeah, Jerry Jones. I'm going to tell you why. It actually has to do with the basketball and the hockey situation. I'll tell you why Jerry Jones ain't ever going to do nothing. But we'll talk about that in a couple of minutes, Mark.
Yes.
Much love to the man, Mark Hovsepian, who's right off the bat. First drop of the week. I know it's our third show this week. He's in 10th place, not far behind everybody else. Big shout out to Mark Hovsepian.
Yeah, and speaking of shout outs, guys, again, we do, since we weren't live this Friday, we are going to be shouting out our, silver and star and over everything members here in just a moment. But first, you saw the super chats coming through, the gifted memberships, 2 different ways to show the love here as well.
Thanks button, you can jump into membership, all that
but
good
as
stuff.
far as the Cash App crownage, right, the only way to do that is either through the Cash App, the money side MyCowboysFamily, the Venmo at my-cowboys-family. You have the regular PayPal link, of course, and the Streamlabs link, which lets your comment show up on screen just like a super chat would. So shout out to everyone who's participated on things. Yeah,
most
through
of
that side.
Most of those on the Cash App and PayPal side, that's the After Dark session usually. But of course, here we always get people dropping the love through my Cowboys family side of things. I also actually wanted to drop a couple. We were off the last 2 days here. The Lunatic back in that star level membership. That's why he's up on this board, way up there. And then you got Mr. Tony Wimbish. Appreciate you, brand new Navy Blue crew member here.
Representing, so, yes. Drop them if you got them.
Yes, make sure you guys, some of you guys get gifted membership when you jump in the membership. Appreciate you guys. And yes, big shout outs to everybody in the Navy Blue Silver 2, star level and over everything levels. But that leads me to now the shout outs, right? We do our nightly shout outs, but it's a Fan Friday. We'll call it a weekend stream here since we didn't do our Fan Friday earlier. So again, there's every single night we shout out the star level and the over everything level memberships. But on Fan Friday, which just counts as that, we also shout out the silver level. So let me kick it off with Mr. A. Lavelle, who's got the all-time record here. Not just a silver level representative, but all-time record when it comes to the longest membership streak here at My Cowboys Family.
Huge shout out, of course, and thank you very much to Skeptical Fan, Jason Renfro, Lincoln Kane, Dwayne Broussard, Marissa Sparkle, Choctaw Montana 808, The Lunatic, and over everything.
Yeah.
Seabass.
He's back in it, and he'll be back on sometime next week. I hope so. We can get him on here next week sometime. Tell us what you thought about the draft. A couple other things that we're getting for this new rookie. This actually not rookie minicamp. It's kind of over. We're going for the little integration here on Tuesday between the veterans and the rookies. I am excited to see that next step go forward.
So, and by the way, I have to go ahead. Take a second here. Shout out once again the man Mark Hovsepian. A big mahalo. I think this time he's fully got it with his $5 holler.
Didn't see it, but it's up.
It's gonna go through, but I have to read this comment and while you're doing what you're doing now, so you can prepare yourself for it. He said, "I'd rather have sex with the cast of The View than listen to Jerry Jones. He's done, Jack. He pats himself on the back. No free agents, contracts, and questionable draft picks."
And don't forget, not just all those horrible things, but also the clown show.
The clownery.
I hear you, Mark. Trust me, I know, and I don't like to hear. Luckily, we're not going to hear from Jerry Jones today.
Yeah, and, to give him the only smallest bit of credit, because that's all he has, he did keep his mouth shut during our schedule release video.
Yeah, we talked about that the other day, Mark. The only time Jerry Jones kept his mouth shut, even Dak was like whispering to his daughter, to Jerry Jones' daughter, Charlotte Jones, "This is great, isn't it?"
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure, maybe he said it to his own daughter, too. Who knows? Anyway, with that said, I'm going to go ahead, do some shout-outs here. And yes, perfect timing, Mr. Seabass, because, we spoke your name like Beetlejuice, you appear. Sorry, I had to throw that out there. Stephen White, shout-out to you, Revelation journalist. Much love, and there it is. We officially have a new stream boss.
Officially, Mark Hovsepian took over the stream boss, and he's, I think, right now, 7th place. Just like that, he jumped into 10th, now he's in 7th. Will they get that first place spot? because Gloria, I don't know, Gloria's a Cowboy fan, but she's in the After Dark session. You want to rep this with my Cowboys family member? We'll see.
Now, Skeptical Fan, by the way, simultaneously dropping the clown show emojis, also saying that Mark will wine and dine Whoopi Goldberg first. So, John Syme, shout out to you saying, that's a lot of angry estrogen going on up there. Texas Twister, what's up? Yeah, I feel like that's another way of describing the outrage at Harrison Butker's comments. So, let me see. Yastik Aguilar 04, hello. Shout out to you as well. Mahalo, Mark Hosepi, and even you, Eastside Herald. You get your whole name today. Look at that. Let me see who else is rocking it here. Kevin Bilbo, hello and hi. What's up, Daniel Berry Sports? Dustin Roberts representing. Let me see. Jason Renfro, much love to you as well. Asmodeus was second, but nevertheless, always special. Freedom first. He managed to be first today. He's been beaten out the last few times. Dark Raven, thanks for joining us here, although can't say I agree with your wording there.
Go Cowboys.
Always.
That's what I say.
So with that said, baby, let's go ahead. Talk about what's been going on, and obviously, have quite a bit of things rolling on through here.
Couple things. Oh, and let's start off with Marco Sepian's $2 J. Lou Holler. What did he say?
Jerry Jones more of an idiot than my turtle is small. Mark, I think you got to give yourself more credit if that's what you're going with.
Yeah, I mean, Jerry's got to be a lot worse off than the turtle over there.
Hey, we're all about protecting nature. Dallas Cowboy 92, shout out to you as well.
Yes, welcome in, everybody. Hit the like button, okay? Make sure you don't forget to do that 40 plus in the house.
Yes.
And let's get rolling here on another one here, my Cowboys family. So, starting off with NFL news. Fanatics today. Remember, we talked about this Marvin Harrison Jr. situation with the Cardinals in the draft. He hadn't signed his that contract with NFL.
Yeah, remember,
PA.
people can't buy his jersey yet, right?
Yeah, if you're NFLPA, you're not in that. You're not going to be able to, have a jersey made for the public to buy. Also, you're not in Madden games. And today, Fanatics filed a lawsuit in New York Supreme Court against rookie wide receiver Marvin Harrison Jr., 4th overall pick of the draft of the Cardinals, for breach of contract.
Ooh.
Harrison's team, the Cardinals, says it has no contract, while the lawsuit states that the two sides have signed an autograph agreement dating back to last May worth more than $1 million. So that will continue. It's kind of a side note. Just interesting. I've never really seen something like this happen this long and take this long before. So we're going to, if it has, it's been a while. So we're kind of tracking that just to get an idea how that goes down.
Kind of interesting to consider that, basically, the Fanatics, jersey, like, hey, we're not making money. Like, that's the reason he somehow gets signed, so to speak. You know what I mean? Like, that's the actual thing that pushes it over the edge and not, somebody actually doing their fucking job. Like, why has it taken this long? Anyway.
Again, without signing the NFLPA version of that side of things, if he's not signing the NFLPA, contract, his rights are not, from the players' side. Right? Yeah, from the players' side. He might be with the Cardinals, but he's not with the NFL Players Union, NFLPA. So it's all. We'll see how this thing trickles out. Now, talking about these new rules, new laws. Marijuana just moved to Schedule 3. It's about time.
Wonder if you'll see again more continued change when it comes to sports.
Well, not so fast, because the Chiefs, 2 offensive linemen, lineman Wayna Morris and Chibuwekbuka Godric, were both arrested Thursday night in Johnson County, Kansas, on misdemeanor possession of marijuana. So now, when the NFL, I don't know if they usually don't punish anybody for this. I don't know if they'll do that now because it taints the shield, but in that area, right, they were in Kansas. You got to follow the marijuana rules in Kansas. You just can't say NFL lets me or doesn't check on this. So, I'm sure these things will change in the next couple of years as the federal scheduled drug laws start to change. People get prescriptions. Now you can fly with it. You can take it across state lines, et cetera, et cetera. This won't be as big of a problem in life, but also in the NFL, any sports.
Something about this Super Bowl win really derailed the Chiefs. Like, how many Chiefs players are up to shenanigans this offseason?
I don't know. Butker is kicking his mouth shut. And these two guys can't stop inhaling. Anyways, the point is, 2 offensive linemen for the Chiefs in trouble. We'll see what happens. Misdemeanor possession. It's nothing. It's bullshit.
Cross the border into Colorado or something, right?
It just shouldn't even. They shouldn't even get arrested. It's a federal 3 scheduled drug eventually soon. So we gotta wait though. They gotta wait till it's federally scheduled 3, and you got a little prescription there, like you can get for ketamine. You can get for a lot of different drugs at scheduled 3 right now.
Exactly.
So anyway, either way, moving on to another kind of an ugly ass drug. Donald Trump. Sorry, I don't mean to piss some of the people off, but Donald Trump was in Dallas yesterday playing golf with Tony. Oh, I'm sorry, 2 days ago he was in Dallas and he played with Tony Romo yesterday. Some golf, yeah, cool. So they're golfing it up. But
I mean, we know they're both very passionate about golf.
That is true. Now, look, it sounds like Donald Trump was speaking to delegates at the NRA convention, and that's where he kind of brought up the fact that he was playing golf with Tony Romo, earlier in that day. So that's all. I put the video up. You can see Donald Trump taking his swing, and then you can see Romo kind of putting his hands in the air, like field goal's good, clapping a little bit, kissing a little former presidential ass, I guess. I guess we know who he's voting for. But either way, there you go. That's a little insight here to Tony Romo, former Dallas Cowboy quarterback, and former President Donald Trump. Former wide receiver for the Dallas Cowboys, number 88, Michael Irvin. You guys know, of course, he was in the whole lawsuit with that hotel and all that stuff.
Yeah.
He was also vaguely connected to a January allegation, and it prompted Allen police to investigate in Allen, Texas. That case is now officially closed, as investigators found zero basis to continue exploring that matter. So, again, whether it's Dak Prescott, Michael Irvin, these guys got to watch their back. We know about the other things that we've been hearing about going down out there. So, it's just good that these guys are covering their backs and going through. It sucks they have to go through this at all.
I was going to say, like,
that just means it's not famous or don't have money.
Vague, so I'm guessing the reason they didn't even release the information is because whatever was being alleged, like,
it's silly.
Even just saying it might make him sound bad, and people will believe it. So,
Either way, Michael Irvin, whatever charges are floating around. I know some haters out there. They couldn't wait to see Michael Irvin get in trouble. It wasn't even a blip really on the radar. I know we had to discuss that real quick. It was kind of a side thing. Mm-hmm. Another allegation. We had one from him from last year, and that he was innocent of that.
Yeah.
So thank goodness Dak was able to get those threatening emails and messages from women trying to extort him, that he was winning that case and is now suing her ass.
I agree.
So hey. That's what's going to happen. We got to see more of that. So these, again, I'm saying women in general. I'm not saying these women that are like kind of gold diggers looking for that. They will slow down with that kind of shit if these things actually get punished more often. So we'll see. Good job on Michael Irvin getting out of that one too. Now, I'm going to skip to this. This is interesting here. It's just we're still kind of on NFL news, believe it or not. Even though we're talking about Romo with Trump and Michael Irvin getting out of his latest, accusation, which he was completely innocent of. But let's then talk about current players on this team right now. And I'm going to start off with this guy. Coming back from the ACL tear, big part of this team coming forward this year, Trayvon Diggs. Now, the only reason I'm mentioning him, baby, is just one reason. And it's funny because it doesn't do with his ACL tear. Mm-hmm. I actually mentioned him one more time for the basketball stuff, but from yesterday. But more importantly, let's talk about the draft, for example. When you look at our draft, you see, there it is. Trayvon Diggs. Oh, when I say draft, I got to stop at the draft here. It's the schedule release. We just had their schedule release. You see the team right behind his ear right here, the New York Giants.
Yeah.
We talked about the other day the Giants throwback, their 100-year anniversary throwback, which had like the helmet from 1938 and the jersey from 1934 and the socks, and the pants from 1925.
Yeah, the real old school look.
Yeah, it was a real, it looked like they were, something out of a different league, let's put it that way. Well, Trayvon Diggs had a reaction to these throwback jerseys the Giants are wearing. He said, ooh. Kind of retweeted the picture and just said, ooh. So
obviously, even if he was a fan, I don't think he'd be out there saying it.
No, but he just said that's not. He didn't like it. So, again.
I admitted I was kind of a fan. I wasn't going to lie about that. Like, in the sense of, like, I like the old school style of it.
Yeah, but he didn't like it. Trayvon Diggs was, like, nasty. And basically, not good. That's all he posted, but that means just basically he don't think those jerseys are nice. But, again, some people are wondering how these jerseys from the Giants got approved. It resembles kind of a rugby polo. And the players it looks like they're wearing khakis sometimes,
Okay, look, when it comes to the pants, I agree.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying. So some people say the helmet looks like a helmet out of the UFL because it's kind of like two layered, like there's two different sections of colors, which is the way that their kind of like little helmets were back, those little leather helmets the Giants wore in 38. That's kind of the colors they use. They use the blue and the red. So anyways, Diggs, I wonder if he'll feel anything about it if the Giants on Thanksgiving wear their little throwbacks on that day. It'll be interesting. I wouldn't mind it, but they'd probably save those for their home games. Maybe it's that fourth game of the year. We go to play at the Giants on a third. We play the Giants both games Thursday night. Thursday night on the first game in New York, and the next one's, of course, Thursday evening, Thanksgiving. So in Dallas. So I would not be surprised if the Giants break out that against us, and if they do,
you can kick their ass any day of the week, including not on Sundays.
I agree, but week 4 of Thanksgiving, if they come out, I don't know. I would love to see Trayvon Diggs take a pick 6 from Daniel Jones and go all the way, baby. Ew. And then,
I wanted to do that same thing, like just like right over that, just right over him.
Just like grab his nose as he entered the end zone on a pick 6 and just say, that's
that would be actually. You know what, Trayvon, we're giving these away for free. I promise.
But as we're talking about the schedule here, and of course Trayvon Diggs, just touched on him real quick, more of a joking situation. He was actually at the Dallas Mavericks basketball game 6 against the Oklahoma City. Oh, I can't believe that. Oklahoma City. I forgot the freaking name. I can't believe it. But anyways, against Oklahoma City, and they won in 6 games. The Mavericks. Congrats to them. But Trayvon Diggs was on the sideline with Micah Parsons at this playoff game, Game 6. Now, if they had lost that, they would have to go back to Oklahoma City and finish out Game 7 there. But because the Dallas Mavericks were able to win at home in front of Trayvon Diggs and Micah Parsons. Hey, Mavs win in 6. Guess where the Mavericks going? They're going to the conference championships. A place I wish.
The
Thunder. How could I forget the Thunder?
Thank you, Smodius.
How could I knew it? I just forgot it, man. It just slipped my mind. But the thing is that the freaking Dallas Mavericks just got to the conference championship game, which is a thing that we wish our Cowboys could get into one of these days, right? When you look at the list of the teams, the four major franchises in Dallas, the Mavericks are basically to a conference championship 2024. Then almost basically the same day, kind of, because the Stars won it and it was already kind of after midnight, and so they actually won it, yesterday, and they go also to the conference championship in hockey, NHL. So they made it in 2024 as well, both the NBA team and the NHL team.
One of these things is not like the other, though.
Well, what about the Texas Rangers in baseball? I mean, we were there, baby.
Very true.
When they won the whole goddamn World Series.
Right.
They were in the conference championships in 2023, and of course, they won it as well.
Yeah.
When they went past the conference championship game and to the World Series and won it. We're not even talking about winning the World Series or winning the championship. We're just talking about getting to the conference championship. The last time the Cowboys got there, 1995 season. And I think it was 95. Or maybe it was January 90. I guess it was January 96. But either way, not good, guys. The Cowboys are the laughingstock of the city of Dallas.
Do you remember what you were doing in January of 1996?
Watching the Cowboys win the conference championship there against the Packers that year. Either way,
watching Blue's Clues.
You were, yes. How did the Cowboys get into the conference championship and win and get to the Super Bowl for the last time in almost 30 years? And of course, they did win. The Cowboys won the Super Bowl there in February of '96, but that was it. So again, last time forget about Super Bowl. Last time we got to a conference championship, guys. The Mavericks have done it in zero days ago. The Dallas Stars have done it 0 days ago. The Texas Rangers did it 209 days ago. That's because they won the championship.
Yeah.
And the Cowboys, it's taken the Cowboys, it's still running 10,352 days. I never thought 10,000 days later, the Cowboys wouldn't have a Super Bowl still. Or even conference championship appearance. That's pitiful. Pitiful. And again,
I guess what's a few hundred more?
Shit, 100 more.
Right, because I'm just saying, we still are weeks away from the season starting. So, that number's only going to grow.
Can't go back on that, yeah. But here's the reason why. And I think you guys were kind of mentioning it a little bit of why this is happening at this point. But, guys, Texas Rangers, all right, what's their value? $2.4 billion.
Okay.
All right? The Dallas Stars, $1.1 billion. And when you combine them, those two organizations and those two teams, they are still less than half of what the Cowboys are worth, $9.2 billion. So
that's why Jerry can get away with it.
It is 100%, guys, and I know some people hate hearing this, but for Jerry Jones, It's about the brand. Using that star. It's about the ratings, which we already just heard even now. We haven't won in 29 years, but every news organization, every sports, they want to have Cowboy games. That makes the most money. And of course the money. The money, the ratings, the brand, $9.2 billion, and we haven't won a Super Bowl in 29 years. Jerry Jones is cool with that. He is relaxed. He wants to win, but money, being in the limelight, repping that brand at every turn, even if it's bad news, getting the ratings, even if we're losing by 50, it doesn't matter.
Outside of championship games and the Super Bowl and things like that, Cowboy games are consistently amongst the highest rated, or viewed, I should say. Not rated. Highest viewed. So
that was get the highest ratings.
Stephen Weiss said it. This is the season. I sure hope so.
I hope so too.
Oh, so by the way, Seabass is like, I already see what you're saying, MCF. Get him.
It's about that money for these guys. Listen, we knew it already, but Jerry Jones, when it comes to Jerry Jones and the Mavericks, who's, by the way, the second most valuable team in Dallas.
Yeah.
But you got the Rangers and the Stars together. When you add they could win the championship every year. They could win every year. They're still not as important as the Cowboys. They're not as valuable as the Cowboys, and they're not as needed in the city of Dallas. I'm telling you this, the Rangers or the Stars. If they had to leave, they would rather leave. The city of Dallas would probably rather kick out the Stars and the Rangers, even after winning championships, than the Dallas Cowboys after 29 years and not winning anything.
Yeah.
I'm just being honest.
So, and James, I'm not even mad at the fact that Jerry bought the team, obviously, to make money. Like, so did every other person who owns the team. It's the fact that I'm going to assume about 90% of the people who own the team didn't just buy it to make money. They bought it to win and make money.
And let other people...
hear how that's win and make money? Like,
but also they let other people... No, because I agree with James Hurd. It's always about the money with these guys. Always first. But how do you make more money? Most of these teams, they got to win Super Bowls. They got to be good every year. The Cowboys don't.
Yeah, Jerry won this type of money because the Cowboys built a legacy. Teams, in order to build legacies, you have to go out there and, win.
Right, but the thing, he built it off the legacy of the 70s, which we got because of Jimmy Johnson into the 90s and kind of boosted it again. When you double boost something like that, it's going to be hard for it to fall down anytime. Yeah. And he just, Jerry's done a great job continuing the brand push, keeping the Cowboys in the media and the news, and the money keeps going up for all the teams, but the Cowboys the most. Jerry Jones is content on just resting on his laurels.
Well, bad intentions said it. If you can make $9 billion by losing, why would you be concerned with winning?
I mean, if you win... If the Cowboys win, we might be making $10 billion instead of $9 billion. But you know what? That's going to cost Jerry some more moves. He's got to give up some power. He'd rather make $1 billion less, but have control of the Cowboys' losing situation, and because he thinks he can do it to win.
It has to be done his way.
His way is the only way. Doing it the other way and winning a championship is not acceptable for Jerry Jones. He stopped that when Jimmy Johnson and him butted heads and went their separate ways. That's when Jimmy Johnson, for those years, was the GM. And then Jerry took over. And other than Deion Sanders and that move, player-wise, has been a disaster, catastrophe for Jerry Jones and this front office. But when it comes to selling the brand and ratings and money, they're great. So in their minds, they see that as really winning the Super Bowl. So they are great at getting money, the brand, the ratings. The Cowboys aren't winning. It's the players and coaches' fault, not the front office. That's the way they look at it. So the front office, they did their job. They paid some money. They paid $250 million to these players and coaches, and it's up to them. Even if they're sticking their dirty, fucked up hands into the Cowboys organization, the team, the coaches, the way it's run, the players, and putting their stamp on it, and that messes up the whole fucking thing. And that's the problem with this front office. That's why we bitch at the clown show. And we will continue to bitch at the clown show. But that's just, to me, it's showing us all, the Mavericks and the Stars and the Rangers mean nothing to Dallas when it comes to the Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah.
And the Cowboys are still pitifully 29 years, not even seeing a conference championship. But yet still making money hand over fist, more than double these other teams if you add them all together. That's why it's not important. They want to win. Winning will get him a little more money, but he want to win his way, and that's the only acceptable way for Jerry Jones. That's it. Now, what's another way the Cowboys are trying to win? Well, we're trying to move over to the analytics side of things. As you can see in my title, there's some analytics talk there because, yes, a couple days ago, the Cowboys officially hired Shane Hawk and Piper Hempsch as strategic football fellows for the Dallas Cowboys. Now, just so you guys know, Shane Hawk, he was a 2024 Big Data Bowl finalist, which that's another second guy we had. We had another guy we hired who was also, I think, a winner of this Big Data Bowl situation. Hempsch, I'm assuming Piper, I'm assuming that's a woman, right? She was previously interning with the Milwaukee Brewers and the Chicago Blackhawks. So big time involved either in the this lady Hempsch was involved with the with other sports and analytics, while this guy here is a brand new guy out of the analytics world, Shane Hawk, who was a finalist at this Big Data Bowl. So Shane Hawk said this, quote, "I'm extremely excited to be taking the next step of my career with the Dallas Cowboys. I'm really looking forward to providing insights and adding value through data. Super grateful to CMU Stats, and then St. Law U numbers for helping develop my skills over these last years." John Park, the guy who runs our analytic department here for the Dallas Cowboys, said, quote, "Thankful that Shane Hawk is on board with the Dallas Cowboys. We are lucky to have him as one of our inaugural strategic football fellows." This is the first year they're able to hire fellows, so they're hiring these two kind of from out of college or where they have some experience to the Cowboys, see how they do, and we'll go from there with them. But again, it's good to see the Cowboys are still expanding the analytics department. And the key thing here is there are so many, almost too many people in the Cowboys analytics department for us to ever have to see us run the ball on 2nd and long ever again. Kellen Moore is out of there. Remember the 2nd and 8, and we'd run the ball. You guys remember that shit. It wasn't really last year too much, but we did it a lot when Kellen Moore was here, and we didn't have the analytics team here. Last year, the analytics team, we scrapped that 2nd and 8 running play because that was fucking dumb as shit. And we talked about that for years. When Kellen Moore is here, what the fuck is he doing? So he wanted to set up a 3rd down and 4 or something, but we'd only get 2 yards, so it'd be a 3rd down and 6 or 7.
And hopefully that also means that we're not going to be seeing, Zeke at center anytime soon either.
Yeah, that was a.
I'm just trying to throw that out there.
That was just
talking about these interesting plays and usages.
I mean, when you look at Zeke, that play was just his Hail Mary play, and that's what you had center. That's Zeke. Yeah, I mean, it wasn't. It's ridiculous, but it didn't make a difference in that game. Now, going to some of the McCarthy analytics that we know that McCarthy has kind of taken a big chunk of things when it comes to him coming to the Cowboys, kind of changing his style and going a little more analytical on things. Let's talk about his situation when it comes to these rookies coming out here. And actually, let me put behind them, I guess. Or I guess maybe I can put in front of them the rookie roster, or at least the rookie draft for us area. There it is. McCarthy said this year on basically on year-round training required for specifically offensive linemen to get what they need as professional NFL football players. So he is pointing, and he spoke about this the other day, the added value of having someone like Duke Manyweather and the offensive line masterminds right there next to the star there. He says that brings a lot of great things to the table, not only for the Cowboys, but for offensive linemen around the nation. But since it's right across the street from us, I mean, there is a huge advantage for all these rookies or these young offensive linemen. And McCarthy's kind of touching on that, the fact that our rookies, Tyler Guyton, Cooper Beebe, you see them right there, right in the middle. Yeah, right there is number 60 and number 50. We know he's number 56 for Cooper Beebe. But the two guys, the big guys in the middle of that picture, they're 1st and 3rd round pick offensive linemen. They're working over there hardcore with Duke Manyweather at O-line masterminds. And McCarthy says that he considers it a blessing that they have a resource right around the area there for the Cowboys, for the rookies. And it's even a bigger blessing that they all utilize it together. So we know our Cowboy squad is out there. I'm talking about Matt Walesko, TJ Bass, Brock Hoffman, along with Tyler Smith, Zach Martin, Terrence Steele. And in the past, of course, Tyron Smith, and Biotish. These guys always were working with O-line masterminds and Duke Manyweather. And now we got, of course, the current starting crew there, along with the rookies, the backups. So the value there is major, according to McCarthy, to have this O-line masterminds right across the street and then working with Big Duke there, Duke Manyweather. So they come more prepared for rookie minicamp. They come more prepared for mandatory minicamp. They come more prepared for training camp and the NFL season. Not just at any position, guys. I'm talking about specifically offensive line. And that's the key here. Yeah, we could have got running backs. Not the same thing as getting offensive linemen and getting that pre-work from one of the best guys who's literally right across the street from the star. So that's why I think that getting these rookie offensive linemen, first rounder, third rounder, and putting them in the hands of Duke Manyweather before you even get to rookie minicamp, and then in between, and then before you get to minicamp, and then in between before you get to training camp, that is a huge resource, a blessing according to McCarthy. And I agree. So, by the way, Tyler Guyton, it's Tyler Guyton Day yesterday in Manor, Texas, where he's from. Left tackle, rookie, first-round pick, honored at a pep rally at his old alma mater high school, Manor Senior High School. So, congrats to him on getting that day. And, of course, again, add to the first-round rookie offensive lineman. The resources right across the street is better. It helps every offensive line across the league, but not like it helps the Dallas Cowboys offensive lineman.
When you have an offensive line superstar, coaching space, coaching facility, coaching resource, really, right in your backyard. Yeah. Heck yeah, of course that makes it a lot better and a lot easier.
Yeah,
so
and gets the players ahead of schedule. The offensive lineman more than anyone, really, when you look at it like that. So good words from McCarthy. Now listen. There's no practice going on, right? The last 4 days or so. Yeah. No practice, at the facility. Of course, they're meeting. They have meetings and that kind of stuff. But Cowboy players, guys, ahead of these voluntary OTAs coming up again this week, on May 21st, on Tuesday, we'll have the rookies and the veterans on the field together for the first time all offseason, all year. So, right now, the Cowboys' offensive skill players, these last couple of days, and there's footage of this, pictures, they are out there getting in work, all of them together, ahead of these voluntary OTAs starting on the 21st. Who had you seen these pictures? Well, Dak Prescott, of course. By the way, Dak Prescott has a new tattoo of baby MJ on his back. Little feet on his back, on the small of his back there. And again, cute. Doesn't seem to have that dad bod either. He seems to be in good shape for Dak Prescott. He was out there, of course, throwing the ball. And working with other offensive skill position guys like his buddy Ezekiel Elliott out there having fun. Jalen Tolbert, Jalen Brooks. That's our 3-4 right there.
Yeah.
Of course, Brandon Cooks and Ceedee Lamb, and we know they've both been working with Dak. But this little session over this weekend, Ceedee Lamb not there, neither is Brooks. Neither was Cooks. But Zeke in the backfield, along with a lot of our younger receivers. Specifically, the two Jalen Brooks, who's our number 4 guy right now, 4 or 5 guy, and Jalen Tolbert, who's stepping into Michael Gallup's spot as a number 3. They're working. They're still working towards these OTAs, the veterans, and they're going to be ready to go when they meet the rookies on Tuesday. So just wanted to throw that out there. Interesting, as just a little background stuff that's going on with the Cowboys before OTAs continue next week. And again, it starts on Monday. They'll be at meetings and shit, but on Tuesday, the first time on the field together. First time. So Tuesday's a big day in that sense. Now, what about one of the guys I just mentioned? We're at the end of this stream, guys, by the way. What about one of the guys I mentioned, Ceedee Lamb? What is he doing? Now, I posted a lot of videos of Ceedee Lamb working on his own with Delphonte Diamond, who really helps a lot with balance, with agility on routes and running routes, how to slow down and speed up.
We heard from Schottenheimer that he's personally not worried about the fact that Ceedee isn't there now because he's going to be there, when it counts.
And he's not going to miss a beat, not just because he's a veteran, but also he's working with Dak Prescott. So all these things we already kind of know. But the bigger thing is his work ethic. According to all sources around him, he's, quote, getting ready. So he's right there with it. Again, if you see our shorts,
the sound of that.
You see the shorts we've posted, you can see him. He's not losing anything by not being at these voluntary OTAs. So, again, he had we know he had at the end of April, a couple weeks ago, he had a conversation, and I'm just going to take an excerpt of what he said, as far as his thoughts about what is he getting ready for this year. He said, quote, winning. I'm looking forward to winning and being out there with my guys and making another run at this thing. But when they asked him, are you going to be there for practice, OTAs, and mandatory OTAs, mandatory minicamp? He said, quote, yeah, I'll be in Dallas, end quote. Now, that doesn't mean he's going to be in Dallas. It means he's going to be with the Cowboys. I don't know, but he said he'll be there. Look, training camp is set to begin in late July. And we got to see Ceedee Lamb before that, in my opinion. But the Cowboys have been masters of landing these deals. Whether you like it or not, the Clown Show usually gets their deals done on bigger name players when? In training camp. And so in a way, the Cowboys, by not making these deals earlier, they're forcing the players to have to kind of like pseudo hold out or pseudo kind of talk shit or have to pseudo kind of create another distraction for themselves by saying, hey, I need to get paid, so I'm not gonna practice today. I'll sit in the sideline. You know what I'm saying? So I don't get fined. That's the kind of shit that's the players are not causing this shit.
Yeah.
It's the front office causing this shit. Or, CeeDee Lamb wants to wait for Justin Jefferson. But like I said before, and I'll say it again, if the Cowboys last year would have paid what I told them they should have paid, $28 million, CeeDee Lamb, that would have been a steal. That would have been overpaying last year, would have been a fucking steal this year. Boom. So either way, Terrence Steele got his deal done over training camp. So did Trayvon Diggs. Malik Hooker was brought in during training camp. Reworking Zach Martin's deal and then signing him last year when he was holding out. He's forcing our players, the front office, forces our players to have to hold out so then they can get their money because the front office don't want to pay it. It's funny, though. They hold out and then they get the money they were going to get anyways. Like, why didn't Jerry Jones just pay them what they were asking for? I mean, It's the same fucking ending, except 2 months of bullshit. Well, that's part of the branding. That's part of staying in the news. That's part of why Jerry Jones does not need. He'd like to win a Super Bowl. He don't need to win a Super Bowl. Like, a team like the Cardinals, they got to win a Super Bowl because they're going to lose money if they don't. Or they're going to not lose money, but they're not going to make as much. Cowboys make the same either way, pretty much. So that's, you guys are feeling what I'm laying down here? You guys, understanding what I'm laying out? So the point is this, guys, it's very possible that even though things are going to get right with CeeDee Lamb eventually, it may take training camp to get CeeDee. Now, he could go to mandatory minicamp like Zach Martin did. I don't think even Zach Martin actually practiced those days. That was kind of interesting. CeeDee Lamb might go to...
I think he just kind of like hung around,
on the sideline. He said he had some kind of injury, a resting thing. It really was just, I'm not going to play until you pay me. And that is what I think is tonight. So my prediction, when, not this week, he's not going to be with the team this week, but we have mandatory minicamp, which is in the beginning of June, 3 days. I predict you'll have CeeDee Lamb on the field, but he'll have some kind of quote-unquote injury. Don't get nervous. Everyone's going to say, oh, he's going to be okay. Shut up. He's going to be fine.
Yeah.
He has an injury, a quote-unquote injury, so he does not does not participate in practices, so he doesn't get hurt. Well, he's going to hold out for his deal. And he's right. And I support CeeDee Lamb and I wish he'd sign with the Cowboys for number one, but I understand why he's doing this because the front office is shit. And so, again, not just the front office, but also, waiting for Justin Jefferson's deal and that whole domino effect.
Factor in that negotiation,
which to me, unfortunately,
that they have to use to get their
because the front office doesn't do much, and then it becomes a distraction in one way or the other. Even if it's short term, is it enough to derail some things? Probably in the beginning of the season in those training camps.
I'm more worried that people will hear, "Oh, CeeDee Lamb's hurt," and like run with that, all the way, to the ends of the earth, and next thing you know, CeeDee Lamb's gonna be out for the season or some crazy shit like that. When
you see a lot of clickbait
the Cowboys
soon.
Are just saying like, oh man, we'll just say you have like a little pinky injury or something. I don't know, you
listen. He
broke
could
a nail.
He could have a sore, foot. I mean, a sore leg. I mean, that's just good enough. Thigh contusion. It's a bruise. I mean, whatever. And they all have bruises. It's just a matter if you want to use it or not, right? So, anyways, look, a lot of time between then and now. I get it. A lot of opportunities for the Cowboys to get him back and iron things out, the front office, and getting him signed. Of course, we might have to wait for Justin Jefferson. I understand, but every day another leaf falls, as Jerry Jones says. And every time a leaf falls, it went from, maybe he's getting 30 million, 31, 32. Now it's up to 33, 34. Then A.J. Brown got 33. So, okay, now it's up to 35. There you go. And that's the way it works. That's the way,
That's just the
demand.
way it is.
That's the way it is. That's demand. Now, where was CeeDee Lamb for Dak's big event? Dak had his big, foundation, his faith, fight, and finish foundation event. He had this yesterday or 2 days ago, I think. And CeeDee Lamb was in attendance, guys. Now, I will say, listen, we can disagree on this. Maybe I'm not a big fan of his outfit. Not that I give a shit. That's what he wore. I mean, to me, it looks like he's...
I'm not saying I'm a fan. I'm just saying that,
His pants look like they were, like 1920s hobo pants. You can hold them up with I don't know. And then...
It's like a light peach color, too, right?
If you cut off his head, it looks like it's like grandma or something. Like grandma giving you the peace sign. I mean, I don't know. I hate the outfit. It looks like a woman's blouse. I'm going to stay with that. I know you didn't like me. I think that's what
but continue.
A cardigan, I'm going to just stop talking. But you guys might. I just look. I'm not judging him. I don't give a fuck what he does. I'm just saying that's the way he came to this gala. And congrats to him, I guess, on his cool outfit. But anyways, the point is that
congrats on him for supporting his quarterback.
That's the biggest thing. That's the biggest thing I'm taking from this. I'm putting a little fun, baby. A little Ceedee Lamb.
I know.
But maybe he's staying away from the team. He's becoming a little bit emasculated. Look, I don't know. Look, the point is this. You guys should see her face. It's kind of the face she's got on the screen there, but it's not a smile. But listen, it's a great example to me of the relationship between Dak Prescott and Ceedee Lamb and how close they are. And Ceedee Lamb, even with all the shit going on with Jerry and not being at mini camp or OTAs, he's coming to this thing for his boy here, for his boy Dak Prescott. So, it was great to see Ceedee Lamb there. It wasn't just him, though. I mean, let me just explain this real quick because it was Dak's event, right? Any quick comments? I'm sure there's a couple of comments you probably want to lay at me here.
Oh, Aztec Aguilar 04 said Auntie Lamb.
There you go. It's Auntie Lamb. Yes. I mean, you give him a couple gray hairs, and I mean that's
now,
it.
Brandon J is a fan. He said, "I like it."
Hey, to each their own. I hate it. I fucking hate it. I just can't get over it.
Now,
every time I see it, I'm like, really? Ceedee Lamb, what are you going for? Like the old woman look?
Now, bad intentions. I'm not sure if you mean Dak and Zeke or Dak and Ceedee, but honestly, your comment could apply to either one of them. Saying the last time him and Dak Prescott were on the football field, they played like they didn't know each other.
If he's talking about, no, I don't know if
the last time that Dak and Zeke were on the football field together, they played like they didn't know each other.
No, I think it's Ceedee. I think it's Ceedee Lamb. Ceedee Lamb it wasn't Dak. Ceedee Lamb was definitely off for that first half, and he didn't know where the fuck he was. So I hear you. But let me go back to this real quick. Because, Dak had a very, again, this event, something he does every year. It comes from his mother situation, cancer, and, just a great thing that he's established in Dallas. Again, this was Dak Prescott hosting his annual Faith Fight Finish Foundation Gala.
Yeah, he did mean Ceedee, by the way.
Yeah, that's what I figured.
I figured.
And I kind of agree. They looked like they were off on different pages. But it seemed to me Ceedee Lamb was the one that was off. Because when McCarthy was talking to him, he had glossy eyes on him. He didn't know what was going on there. So, look, either way, this annual Faith Fight Finish Foundation from Dak, this gala happened yesterday in Dallas. Dak was speaking about how the Cowboys brand has helped his charitable efforts off the field. So, again, for something like this, him being a Cowboy, it brings in so many more eyes, so much more contributions and donations.
And lets him help more people.
Exactly. And one of those main people he helped, Eduardo Flores. He's the one that did the announcement at the draft for one of our picks. Dak Prescott met with him. He said Dak said he wanted to meet him, in person, and they did meet at this Faith Fight Finish gala. Now, Eduardo Flores was the Dallas Cowboys International Fan of the Year. That's why he presented that. But he also credited Dak. Eduardo Flores credited Dak Prescott with saving his life and helped him process his grief when his father passed away. So that's how he kind of looked at Dak and kind of, I guess, there was some suicidal thoughts and that kind of stuff. So again, the whole just hearing Dak's story got him, kind of on the right track, and that he does credit Dak Prescott for that. And it's a known story. He was there, and they got to embrace and meet each other. Dak also, featuring Zeke on stage with him, both introduced Post Malone at this surprise. He was the surprise performer at Dak's Faith Fight Finish Gala in Dallas. He performed for free since he and Dak are very close friends. So great thing for Post Malone to do as well. A big charitable event.
Yeah, that is really nice to see as well.
So the players in this Dak's Foundation Gala, let me give you some names real quick. Outside of the Ceedee Lamb, we already know he was there. But we had Jalen Tolbert was there. Leighton Vander Esch was there. Cooper Rush. Zach Martin. Of course, Dak. Dakota Shepley, offensive lineman, practice squad guy. Ceedee Lamb. Brandon Aubrey, kicker. McCarthy was there as well. And many other Cowboy players.
Including Jerry, I think, too, right?
Well, I was saving that one for the last thing. Though Jerry was also there. He was shown in the video. We knew he was coming. And I'll explain more about Jerry Jones. That's important, though, before I get there.
I wanted to comment on the fact that Dakota Shepley seems to be really involved. You've mentioned him so many times so far.
He's like the most unknown guy that's hanging around with everybody.
Exactly. So
we know why Jalen Tolbert's hanging around the offense. I mean, he's got to integrate himself as the number 3. But Shepley's like practice squad.
Everybody else makes sense. He's a bit of the odd man out in this group, but it's just nice to see that he's included so consistently in all this, and nice to see him supporting Dak there. But back to the whole fact that, like you said, Jerry was there. Yeah. Always good to see, right?
And we'll talk about that.
Flash and throw around that money, Jerry.
Well, yeah, he's all these guys helped donate, brought some donations to the cause here from Dak Prescott. But let's first talk about what Dak said. because Dak spoke specifically about this charitable organization he has and the things about it. So when he spoke about this again at his annual gala, what did he say, baby?
Quote, "Each and every day I'm grateful and I'm thankful to be where I am. And I know I wouldn't be where I am. I know I wouldn't be who I am and the man I am, have the family that I do, if it wasn't for my mother. That's her instilling a belief in me, pouring everything she had into me, being selfless, showing me the way it is to love and to have a family. For me, it's second nature to be able to share that. I want people to understand who my mom was as a person. And I think the best way to be able to do that is to be the best individual that I can."
He was asked right after that, what would she think right now about everything he's been able to accomplish on the field, but also, of course, off the field?
Quote, "I know she would be proud. That was something my mom wasn't shy of saying by any means. I can hear it. I know she would say, and she would say, just keep going. What she instilled in me, what I've always believed, is that there's never too much and there's never enough. Don't be satisfied with anything. You've seen what you can do, so go do more. Right now, it's about seeing how much bigger I can make this night. How many more people I can impact around the world to make a difference." She would say she's proud, and honestly, I'm proud of the mom that I have. Now being older and understanding everything that she went through and did, what she did and the person she is, I just hope to reflect that in some fashion.
So great words there from Dak Prescott and his gala. Of course, always, to me, Walter Payton Man of the Year, always doing great stuff, no matter how you feel about the man. You think
And his football side of things.
So, but then I want to kind of drop in one last little tidbit here, which kind of brings me into this the finale of this stream for tonight.
So take a second, everybody, to hit like, subscribe, hit the bell, follow us anywhere and everywhere. At My Cowboys Family, of course, hop in the Discord, links down below in the description box. And an extra special shout out to the people dropping the love tonight so far. Skeptical Fan, Marco Seppian.
Yeah.
Mahalo to you both.
Yeah, Skeptical, who is right now in the lead, the leader of gifted memberships this week. Jason could lose his huge streak. Again, of 5 weeks. We'll see what happens. Although, there's an outside chance that we could, since we only have 3 days, we'll figure it out. Anyways, the thing is, I wanted to finish up by talking about Jerry Jones being at this gala.
Okay.
Now, we know Dak Prescott was there. Jerry Jones, also we've seen video of him being there. But this kind of seeped out as they were, kind of interviewing Dak after this thing. And, after during the event, before it started, they were interviewing Dak. And Dak said, they said, isn't Jerry going to be here? And he's like, yeah, Jerry's going to be here, and and he's going to be contributing, and then they said, isn't your agent going to be here too? And he's like, yeah, he'll be here, he'll be offering, donating something, And then they're like, well, both of them together, and Dak was like, oh no, I know what you mean. He goes, different day, different time, different place, different day, different time. Kind of like
they say, like, that's not what we're here to do tonight, type of thing.
But I do want to mention the fact that it was the one time that we know for sure that Dak Prescott with Jerry Jones was also there with Dak's agent. We'll talk about that in a minute. But first, the man Mark Hovsepian with that 5 on it, the $5 holler. What did the man say?
Ma walks in my room, mad but smiling. Mark, how did a fire hydrant get in my backyard? Very carefully, Ma. It was heavy. I don't care how, but get rid of it. Did you really bring
No, he did not.
a fire hydrant into the house?
I think what he's saying is that he spewed all over the. I'm just.
Oh, is that what I was supposed to take from that? Mark, you're gonna have to clarify if Mr. FCF is on the right track here, because
I'll let him answer.
I'm sitting here genuinely trying to figure out, like, did you drag it on your bike or something?
So innocent you are. You're so innocent. Much love to Mark. I gotta give that a big heart right there.
Oh, true. Sorry, the backyard, not in the house. In the
backyard.
Okay, true.
Just flooded it. That's it. Look
at
your face.
Look
at your face. I'm sorry, baby. Oh, Mark, much love with the drop. By the way, I wanted to say to Mark.
Maybe that's a crime.
Mark's still here. He's not in jail unless he's typing this in prison.
Okay, yeah, he said I lifted it in my trunk. I took it out and placed it in the backyard. So, oh man. Mark, that reminds me of the time undisclosed family members stole a street sign. In their defense, someone else had already hit it. So it's not like, they had much left to do.
That happens when you're younger. Yeah, we all fuck around.
But yeah, he was 18. Oh, there you go, Mark.
That explains it. I knew Mark was doing that now.
Yeah, I was going to say, nowadays, we'll leave the, fire hydrant Grand Theft Auto to, the Kansas City Chiefs of the world.
Yes, right now they're the ones doing that stuff.
Oh, yes, I will say a street sign is much lighter. I'll give you that. So
yeah, that's a big piece of equipment you're moving there from the street to your backyard. There's much love to Mark. Again, shout him out. He's our stream boss.
Fire hydrant is my
I don't
question.
know.
How do you give it back? Who do you give it to? The fire department?
The city? County? I don't know. I know that he is right now on this board. The men, as we're of course getting closer and closer to the end of the night. Very close, actually. And the last little talking point, and then we're done for the night, for the week. But right now, he's like right there in 8th place, right behind Marissa Sparkle and a couple others. With he's on the prowl. You never know. But this is a short show tonight.
Now,
so.
Rolling it back to the whole Dak and Jerry and his agent stuff. Now, Dak was very specific. He's like, "Oh, that's not what we're here for right now." Okay, but what about when the gala's over? I mean, you guys. I'm just saying, nothing's stopping you and your agent and Jerry. Which, by the way, if you look at the pictures. Like, the thing that stuck out to me, it was like Dak, it was his girl, who, by the way, was looking fantastic, and it was Dak's agent. You know, it was the happy little throuple.
Yeah, that was
in most of the pictures.
Yeah, those are the walk in the red the red carpet kind of walk there, and that's where they take their pictures. So Dak came in there with his girl and his agent. So it's almost like his representation, right? So the thing is, that's important to know is this. Number one, of course, they're not going to sit. Let me explain to everybody. It's not like Jerry and Dak's agent are sitting in the corner booth breaking down a deal. It's not what's happening.
Yeah.
But I just want to say this. The fact that Dak's agent is in attendance, and Dak did say, he declined to discuss his contract, and he just said, different place, different time kind of deal. For that, he winked and kind of smiled. He knew what they were asking about there, right? So it's more of, to me, just the fact that the meeting of the minds, the people that have to get this shit done, at least got to interact a little bit. And it's something that has not really happened that we know of publicly or privately at all. Like, they've had a conversation or something, but have they had an actual, an in-person, face-to-face, in-person meeting? Because I don't think they've had that. So if you base it off of that, at least it's the first step-ish of something that you can go in the right direction if you're going to get this thing done with Dak. The first little half step forward. Now, they're at Dak's gala here. We know owner Jerry Jones was there. We know Dak's agent was also there. So there could be maybe some foundational talking points, groundwork maybe being worked on after, maybe after the gala, like you said, maybe. So, and I'll explain why this is very important in a moment. But first, the much more important thing. The $5 holler by the man Mark Hosepian. What did he have to say, baby?
Ooh, he said, "My mom catches me with a hickey. The good gals you treat good. The bad girls you treat bad. Ma, Diana's bad, and boy, did I treat her bad. So she slapped me, said, get out."
Damn. We're getting Mark's entire life story here. Right?
So my question is, did Diane happen before or after the fire hydrant? Because that seems like a very critical thing to know about you and Diane, I feel.
Yes, please break down more specifics about this, Mark, because this is going to be the Mark Hosepian segment here.
Oh, and Dark Raven, I don't know, maybe you might see some After Darkage.
Yes.
Actually, yes, you will.
Yeah, you will. But it's going to be, the After Darkage is going to be for next week. Starts next week. So any names that hit there tonight will be, be on the new board on this channel as a new week. For over there, it's for the full month.
Yeah, he said it was around the same year. So yeah, I kind of suspected that the timelines might have matched up there. So
those years of
yes, 18 must have been quite the year for you, Mark.
In those years where I know the rebellion years. You know how that goes.
Oh, do you know?
Kind of a little bit.
What about these rebellion years? Please tell me more.
I don't know. I forgot.
I wouldn't know. You know where I was at 18 and 19?
No, I don't.
Really?
I'm joking, baby. I love you.
Anyway.
I know you were, but yes.
Exactly. So, Mark Hosepian said, gotta love your mom. She hurt her hand hitting me. I'm like, Mom, I'm sorry. Are you okay? Get out. So, yes, it's Unfortunately,
that's already happening with you.
Sons, I was going to say, Sons quickly reach that age around, the 14, 15-year-old mark, it seems, where, you go to beat some sense into them, and instead you end up half breaking your hand. So.
It's the wife does. I don't do that. No corporal punishment.
Yeah, you don't
here.
have a hard-headed son. You have a hard-headed daughter. So.
No, still look. Never hit your children if you can help it. Anyways, but maybe you want to hit Jerry Jones. I know I do sometimes. Listen, the thing is this, and here's where the clown show our show comes to a close, and we have some discussions now, but. This is where it goes from like Jerry Jones, like the guy who's diligently trying to make this, innocently trying to make this team better, and let's bring in some people that will get a little crazy sometimes. No, that's gone. It's now clown show, and here's the reason I say this. Let me explain.
Okay.
That was last night. Jerry Jones at this gala meeting Dak's agent. They're interacting something, even if they're saying pleasantries, whatever. First time in face to face that we know of since this off season that they've talked or met. They've talked on the phone or texted. I don't know, but emails. But today I heard from Jeremy Fowler and ESPN that the Jacksonville Jaguars are, quote, all in on a Trevor Lawrence deal. And currently engaged in talks for an extension that I'm going to tell you the range in a minute, but what do you think about the fact that, again, guys, another quarterback's going to get a deal? What is that? What could that? I'm not saying it's going to do it every time. What could that do? Jared Goff got a $53.5 million contract per year.
Yeah.
I mean, Dak's going to fight for that or more. And we know the limit right now is 55 with Joe Burrow, so all you're doing is making that little. We thought it was going to be maybe 51, 52. Dak might be going for. Now it's pushed. Even that's been pushed up. If that was going to be an option for Dak Prescott to consider taking a little under Joe Burrow, but now Trevor Lawrence involved and engaged in talks with the Jacksonville Jaguars to get an extension done soon, in around the $50 million range, a little lower than maybe some of us might have thought. Some people thought that, this guy's going to get $56 million, Not necessarily.
Yeah.
So Trevor Lawrence, it sounds like that the Jacksonville Jaguars are in talks right now with him and his agent in around the $50 million range, figure $51 million, something in that range. So now where do you put Dak? Do you put Dak ahead of Trevor Lawrence, but behind Goff? Do you put him, in between Goff and Burrow for the top money? You don't put him over Burrow, right?
It feels like, honestly, if anything, I think this contract goes to show that it's not necessarily as easy as a one-to-one comparison, right? Because by any measure of the imagination, Goff should be one of the highest paid guys here outside of Mahomes because he's the only one who's even sniffed the Super Bowl. Like, out of the recent guys,
well, Burrow was there in the
Super
Bowl. He got to the Super Bowl.
Well, true. And he got his first contract, so
yeah, you're right.
But this is Trevor Lawrence's second.
No. That was Goff's second contract.
No. What I'm saying, this is Trevor Lawrence's
his first big contract.
Second big contract, right?
No.
This is his first.
This
big
is off
payday?
his rookie. Yeah, this is off his rookie deal.
Okay,
yeah.
Honestly, Trevor Lawrence has felt like he's been in this league for like 8 years. I'm sorry, that's why I'm a little bit like. So so that makes a little bit more sense. So that's what I'm saying. Dak obviously shouldn't be getting paid, first big contract type of money the same way that some of these other guys should be, but you kind of said it. If Jared Goff was getting around what he got, and you're kind of seeing the more or less going rate for average to above average quarterbacks, I mean,
the way I look at this is
it still feels like Dak is probably going to get like around 52. Like if I had to stick a solid number to it, I'm guessing somewhere around the 52 million range.
So here's the thing: when you look at the situation, for example, with you actually made a great point about the fact that you make the Super. Forget about winning the Super. Mahomes, he's the only guy getting paid. Yeah. He gained $50 million.
Goff,
whatever.
Yeah, Goff is technically the only one who has sniffed anything near.
Goff and Burrow, and they're both 1 and 2. So technically, Dak shouldn't get more than those guys, in my opinion, right? I mean, Dak's in the same situation as Goff, same year. Goff got to a Super Bowl, Dak didn't.
Yeah.
Now Dak's been close to MVP, Goff hasn't. But my point is, that to me puts me at Dak at $53 million, like right behind or at even the same part as Goff. I could see Dak, but he should not get over Burrow based off of this. The younger guy, right? The guy with more ability to maybe take that team farther. Not like Goff or Dak, but Burrow's more of there going to be for another extra 4 years than Dak and Goff. So when you look at it like that, I think Goff and Dak should be a $53 million range, and I think Trevor Lawrence shouldn't be up to past anything close to either of those two guys, because to me, Dak and Goff didn't have done more than Trevor Lawrence. But he is younger, so that boosted up another million, a couple million, right? Because he's got a bigger window like Joe Burrow. Burrow's been there to the Super Bowl. Goff's been there, but he's older like Dak. So Dak should get less than Goff technically if you look at it by Super Bowls only. When you add performance and you add that star in the helmet, you're looking at about equal pay for him and Goff, and maybe even just a hair above, under Joe Burrow. So, hey, you might get $54 million a year for Dak. We got Mr. Marco Sepien topping in. He's jumping up. Look at him in sixth. I think he's going to be in third now, if I'm not mistaken, or second. Yeah, Mark might be trying to take over tonight. What did he say with that 5 on it?
Dak is a top 10, 12 quarterback. Thing is, to me, a top 10 QB 20 years ago, it meant something.
I agree.
The pool of talent is much lower. Everyone wants to overpay, then let them. I mean, I have to disagree with the pool of talent being lowered. The NFL is much more of a passing league. We're asking quarterbacks to do a lot more, pass a lot more. It's only going up from there. And that's not to take away accomplishments from any older quarterbacks from previous generations, right? Shout out to them. They were still doing their thing. But we're playing more games. Quarterbacks are throwing the ball more. We're definitely running the ball less. And, I'm going to also say that the offensive linemen have gotten worse throughout the last handful of years in the sense of overall, collectively, they've seen a dip. We've also asked quarterbacks to, take more hits and try to stay healthy. So that's the only little thing I'll say there. I think the pool of talent has only gotten lower in the way that it's gotten lower for all other positions, or maybe you have less people playing football.
Well, I'm going to add to that too, actually, because by the way, Mark is now, I think he has another. I just saw another drop come through back to back.
Have another $5 holler.
That's going to put him in fourth place. He just broke a tie in fifth. In fourth place, right behind Seabass. I think he's 15 back to tie Seabass, and I think he's basically 26 away. 26. I'm trying to figure it out. I had 26 away from winning tonight's thing here. No joke. So. I know it's still a whiles away, I'm just saying, but he's like 26 away from striking that top spot. But I do want to add to that little comment there you were saying, baby, about the quarterback. I agree with somebody you were saying, the passing more. I think the fact that there's back in those days, to me, there were a lot better quarterbacks because you got a lot of kind of, I'd say outside of the Cowboys and the Niners, you had a rotation of guys going in there and kind of showing out. And some of them, winning their Super Bowls, earning them, whether it was John Elway later in his career, Brett Favre. I'm saying in the 90s, in the 80s, you had other guys, again, around Montana, and in the 90s, around Aikman. But I'm just saying, outside of, to me, it's like nowadays, it's like Mahomes, and before that was Brady. And you had a couple guys sprinkled in there like Breeze and of course Peyton Manning in the mix and you have even Eli. Some people will throw him in there. But I'm saying Super Bowl's a Big Ben. That's over the last 25 years though.
I know, but I'm still gonna say I think a lot of that has to do with the fact that leagues are much more quarterback dependent. So the cream of the crop rises to the top. Other teams could depend more on their run game and their quarterbacks and other things. But shout out to Marco Seppi with the second $5 holler. He said, I'd rather spend money on proven talent who makes a difference. Ceedee and Micah are just that. Jalen sure as hell ain't worth his contract, and Jerry Jones did horrible quarterback planning.
Yeah, I mean, 100% agree with you, Marco Seppi. And when it comes to we've talked about this. I wish we can go. I know we had to take some of our videos down because for so old, YouTube was like requesting it. But the point is, we have videos back when Dak, before the first contract, we're telling all you guys here, when we had 10 people watching, we're like, the Cowboys, the front office needs to make this deal. I think you had said this, pay him $30 million already. We were saying 28 was like should they pay over Derek Carr? We were just like, give him 30, and that ends the whole conversation. We would not be talking about this shit right now, so this is the management.
Yeah, and this time next year, $30 million will seem like cheap.
nothing. Now, I don't know if we would have had them under contract till now. We might have had to have another contract. He might be at 40 million now, 45 now. But it would have saved us. It would have pushed things forward. It would have given us more time to see what he can do or not do. You know what I'm saying? It would have been handled different. It would have been handled better. It's the same shit. Like the Cowboys kind of, playing around now with this CeeDee Lamb contract. Like I just said earlier tonight, wait until they're going to get to training camp. They get another deal done because deadlines make deals. It's Stephen Jones, dumb shit. This is by playing around, you're making a distraction. You're keeping, you got ESPN watching you. That's what Jerry wants. But you're not helping the team. Jerry don't give a fuck. And I just, earlier, with all the Dallas area teams winning and getting into the championships and getting into the Eastern Conference Championship or Western Conference, getting into the fucking conference championships and we can't get there in 29 years, the other three sports got there this year. Literally yesterday on two of them, and the other one was the Texas Rangers. And they're not even playing baseball yet here. I mean, we're just getting into baseball right now, a new season. So I'm saying the last champion was the Rangers. They won the whole thing. So, I mean, the Mavericks and Stars, if they win a championship together, could you imagine all three sports? Hockey, baseball, and hockey, baseball, and and basketball. All three sports. The Dallas team is the champion. That can still happen. That's literally what's on the verge of seeing. The only team that hasn't even gone to a goddamn conference championship would be the Dallas Cowboys, and it's been 29 motherfucking years. Like that I don't know if that's going to wake up this front office. I mean, we know nothing ever will. That's the problem. We already know the answer. They don't care. They make more money than all those three teams combined.
Exactly.
So what do they need to make a playoffs for or win a championship? They don't need to do that shit. Jerry's still getting $9 billion fucking dollars. You don't care. You add up the Mavericks, the Stars, and the Rangers, it's like $8 billion. I'm sorry. Jerry's got him by like $2 billion. Billion and a half.
Hey,
come on.
We better hope Dak's a winner, Rafer, because he's still here now, and he's gonna currently be here for the next handful of years. It seems very likely. So.
Well, again,
he better win something.
We'll see what happens when it comes to Dak's actual performance, because obviously, when it comes to Mark's comment about Dak, not being like the proven talent, and I agree to an extent. He has not proven he can go on playoff runs on his own. He's not the quarterback. It's funny, baby. That's one thing that I think if we go back to the beginning of Dak.
Yeah.
And my biggest issue, and I'll swear to it by this day, my biggest issue with Dak was his lack of ability to really take over the team, not just take over the team and be the leader, which he does, but take it away from the coaches. Romo used to do that, and Romo had other problems, but like when you needed to take over, Romo took over. Sometimes he made mistakes and blew the game. Aikman took over. He took over and won games. Staubach took over and won games. You look at the best quarterbacks out there, they take over games.
They do.
Dak has every other quality I think it's out there. He's got mobility. He has vision. He has he makes something out of nothing.
Heck, he's even got the team behind him, right?
He's got the stats. Better than every quarterback we ever had at this point of their careers, in most categories. But then, the ability to take over and control your team and just say, I don't care what the fucking coach is saying. I'm doing this because I know how to win it this way. That's what Dak doesn't have. And I've always said he's had that issue. Now, the money you pay him doesn't have to reflect that or not. I think you have to get more people around him to be able to win a Super Bowl. If Trent Dilfer didn't have that and won a Super Bowl with a great defense and no offense, the Cowboys couldn't do that with Dak Prescott. But so I know it's the money you're paying. Who made this hubbub? Who made this a big deal? It was the front office. They made this, dragged this out, and now we're paying him supposedly too much. Now he's getting paid, to me, normal. But we know he's not going to get paid another $40 million on his next contract. If he was, we'd keep him and we'd smile about it. The problem is he's going to get $51, $52 million, $54 million at most, probably. I don't see him getting over Joe Burrow for the reasons we mentioned. And, baby, you brought up some great-ass reasons. But those are the things, those are the situations why I believe the Cowboys – if you're going to get a quarterback that doesn't have that takeover mentality, which we knew Dak didn't have from the third year already. We knew it. He had everything else, but not that. You got to get other guys around him that do have that. You got to get other guys that can do that with him on offense. And the front office won't let it happen because we put Kellen Moore there and screwed the pooch. They have their hands in everything. By the way, Marco Sepien dropping that 5 on it again. Moving up this board. What did the man say?
If Dak's your guy, re-sign him. And the big boys and sign better guys.
Exactly.
If you doubt Dak,
thank you.
Then draft, ask Dak to trade, or, you go another way. Jerry Jones done neither.
Exactly.
It's a clown show.
And when it was time to sign Dak and that contract, and the Joneses 2 years earlier said, he's our franchise quarterback. Once you said that, you have to pay him that. The Cowboys said, let's wait. $28 million, $30 million, $33 million. No. Now we have $40 million. Now they they franchise tagged them, and then $40 million. The Cowboys literally shot themselves in the goddamn foot.
You know what's funny?
That's the stupidity of the clown show, and they're gonna do it again.
They're gonna do it again. Yeah, for better or for worse, I think one of the things that the Eagles have also successfully done when it comes to front office management, they're very aggressive and early when it comes to paying some of their guys. They have been for a few years now, in a way that even we have said, like, damn, that seemed kind of like a dumb move. More often than not, it ended up working out for them. Yeah. In some positive way, or they were able to finagle their way out of it. Think of Carson Wentz.
True.
Like,
right.
That to me is like one of the biggest examples. Like, how the fuck do you get away with basically throwing your money in the quarterback garbage can, and you still manage to get out of that more or less unscathed and make another Super Bowl appearance? Like, fuck you. Right? And that's what I'm trying to say. It is not impossible. It can be done. But part of it does require for you to, be a little bit more aggressive with some of your moves. And Jerry and Steven playing this will they, won't they, half in, half out situation with Dak, where they're saying on one hand, oh, he's our quarterback, but on the other hand, they wait how long to sign him and get the deal done. It doesn't make sense. And this is how you end up in this situation. Now, let me go ahead and go to Marco Sepian's following $5 holler saying, Mr. MCF, I broke down Dak since the year he broke his foot. Kills bad teams in a bad division. He beats one good team, but then he loses to a bad team and then splits the rest. Dak has really good teams and has had generally good defenses other than 1 or 2 years. Romo, in contrast, constantly had 20-plus rated defenses and never had a Zeke for 5 years. And that was his follow-up $5 holler there. And to really round it out, with this $2 holler, he said, I'll send you the info. Not hating on Dak, just facts. Bam. There it is. A big mahalo to Marco Sepian. I wanted to read all that together because I know it was meant to be read together. And while Mr. MCF handles his stuff here, I'll go ahead and kind of touch on a few things there. So one of those factors I will say is the NFC East itself. Outside of the Eagles, it has been relatively weak. Like, Washington has had moments where obviously they've had a really strong defense, and they still have a strong defense in a lot of ways, but not good enough to give them a winning record or make them, like, really good outside of, like, that 1 year, So, realistically speaking, they haven't been a threat in quite a while. Obviously, the Giants as well have had a lot of problems and have not been a threat in quite a while. Shout out Marco Sepian once again with the $2 holler.
There it is. Yes, he is. And
so I'm just saying, like, when you have an internally kind of weak division, I don't want to say it sets you up for failure in that sense. It's just like, yeah, of course it's always going to look not as great because a good chunk of your games are against lame teams, right? So the Eagles have at least somewhat consistently put up a fight against us. So like I said, I don't fully disagree with what you're saying. I don't 100% agree. But I'm interested to see the stats and the facts that you're going to bring up. So
I'll answer.
And I will say that, yes, obviously Dak has had the better defenses, but a lot of those defenses only came in the last few years. And at that point, our offense was much worse. We still will never live down receiver by committee.
And that's a great point.
Like
I want to speak more on that.
PTSD style shit that,
because
like,
even if we had even if we had good teams and all that stuff, that receiver by committee, that was hurtful towards Dak's entire ability. When you had Kellen Moore running the offense, that hurt Dak's. It went against what Dak's positives were. So it's not just Dak or Dak's team or Dak's offense. You know what I mean? It's not just Dak's fault or his reason that we're doing great. It's not just because of Dak Prescott. Now, sometimes against some of these other teams, with Kellen Moore, maybe he knew how to scheme better against Washington, Philly, and the Giants. And Dak went out and was able to play better because the scheme was better or the game plan was better. But it wasn't necessarily Dak's bad or his fault or he can't play. That's why I don't really judge things on Dak's record or Dak. He beats a good team. He beats a bad team, but you beat the Eagles, they have a shitty defense, so is that a good team? It's always going to be the movement of goalposts, and I understand the facts of it. But then you beat a good defense like the Panthers, and then people say, well, it's not a good team. So it's just hard. There's only 2 or 3 teams that are great defense and great teams. And that's just the way it's always going to be. So, of course, every time everybody Romo played, our team wasn't as good. But the teams also, they weren't as many elite teams, like, and the same thing now. There's just not that many elite teams that have a great defense and also a great team. You got to look at context more in that. I would love to see what Marco Sepien has, but again, I'm not doubting that Dak does better against better teams, against worse teams. I agree. I mean, you can obviously see that, but why? Is that because Dak is it only the reason we can't play good against good teams is because it's Dak's fault? Is it Dak? Is it the scheme? Is it the players that get better and the scheme doesn't get better with it? Mm-hmm. Do you know what I mean? That's my question, and I don't know if Mark can answer that question. But
I know.
But that's a question. If the scheme gets better, if the scheme does not get better with the better teams, is that on the player? Is that on Dak?
I think it's more like what Dustin Roberts is saying. When it gets real, he folds. It's just a fact. I think, if anything, that's the criticism you can give Dak because again. Regular season, Dak is a comeback king.
That's true.
Postseason, holy shit.
Well,
it's like, I'm just saying.
He has bad games, but he's had a couple good ones.
Not so much bad games. It's just, it's not about bad or good games. It comes down to the fact that when the game is on the line, Dak has failed every time, outside of once.
Well, I mean,
so and I'm sorry, but we've been there now consistently enough that
he's won 2 games.
True, but...
And I say he, I mean the Cowboys, not Dak. So I want to clarify something, though, okay? Because, Dak Prescott and the Cowboys, as a team, I can sit here and compare Romo all I want. I can sit here, because I think they had 1 or 2 good defensive teams. They had DeMarco Murray, league leader. Now, Zeke was not that great other than a couple... You say 5 years, I had 3 years. You had the best of Zeke. After that, it was the downhill. It was the downhill started with Zeke because they overused him and they just kept overusing him and his downfall came faster. But I'm not going to go here because, again, even when we had Zeke, we had receiver by committee, which is fucking disastrous. All right? And then you take away, you have your receiving core there and then you start to game plan, Kellen Moore, the Joneses, start to game plan away from Amari Cooper to give him 3 targets a game on average on his last year with the Cowboys and give him away for bullshit for a 5th rounder to the Browns.
Yeah, that definitely doesn't help.
I'm saying those are the things how is that going to help Dak Prescott or Mike McCarthy or the scheme? How is it going to help Dak Prescott or Mike McCarthy or even Kellen Moore's dumbass and his scheme if the Joneses have their hands involved in all of who they want to see get the ball? We want to see this, we want to see that. Kellen Moore says, okay. And that's what I'm trying to say. Like, to me, it's a colossal fuck up by everyone. And if they had better general manager around this team and around Dak Prescott, we would have we would have been in the conference championship. We might have made a run at the Super Bowl with Dak Prescott. I truly believe that if we had a real general manager.
I agree. I think that changes things.
Give us a general manager. Do you know how much of a difference? I don't care who's the quarterback. We will win. We will win better. The team will be put together better. I would be very. I mean, don't give me a shitty GM. You can get Jerry as a shitty GM. Give me a good GM. Give me a fucking, what's his name from fucking Philadelphia? Roseman. Howie Roseman.
I almost said Schottenheimer for some
reason. Howie Roseman. Like, you give me Howie Roseman on the Cowboy team with Dak Prescott, we win a Super Bowl. Or Howie Roseman figures a way to trade Dak Prescott, reboot, and we were back in the Super Bowl in 2 years. That's what I'm fucking talking about. That's what we're missing on this team. That's facts. We're missing that. And that comes back to the fucking clown show. Case closed. Yeah. You can blame Dak, you can blame Zeke, you can blame the defense, the offense, or Romo, or this guy or that. It's simply and always will be, and it's just ingrained. Even if there's a year that it's not the ownership, there's still other things that happen because of past ownership moves. So you can't see it right now, but right behind Marco Sepien's 5 on it, the clown show is the fucking evil on this team. It ain't about the players or even some of the coaches. It's this fucking clown show. Much love to Mark with the 5. By the way, with that 5, he was in 3rd place. Now he's in 2nd place, literally like basically a 5 away from taking over the top spot from Gloria. Woo! What did Mark say?
I'm not blaming it all on Dak.
Yeah, I hear you.
But we seem to scheme better against bad teams and fail against better teams. 8 years, 2 playoff wins, and good teams. Yeah. Romo had, same coaches.
I agree. How many wins do we have in the playoffs?
With Romo?
Yeah. You remember how many wins Romo got us? 1? He got us 1 against the Eagles, right? I think a while back. Hold on. 1 against. We lost to Seattle. We lost to the Giants. I'm going through my mind. I know we went to we beat the Eagles. We lost to the Vikings, so that's 1 win. And I know we beat the Lions. That's 2 wins. Lost to Green Bay. 2 wins. 2 wins in the career of Romo, 2 wins in the career of Dak Prescott. Currently. That's because we have the same front office. Not the coaches. Front office. Coaches are bad too. We had worse coaches with Romo. I give you that 100%. But the coaches are also held back by the front office in many different ways, whether it's financial ability to spend the money to help the coaches. Listen, Dan Quinn wanted Bobby Wagner. We told you guys this would be a great fit. We knew this would be. Listen, Bobby Wagner was interviewed. Do you guys know that Bobby Wagner was interviewed about his commander connection with Dan Quinn? You know what came out of that?
What?
Bobby Wagner said, Dan Quinn and I spoke 3 years ago, the last couple of years of trying to reconnect, and we couldn't do it because of the financials.
Oh.
The guy was getting paid $8 million. He's a Pro Bowler. He led the league in tackles last year. Imagine if he was with us and Dan Quinn. So I'm just saying, I hate yelling at this, but my goodness, it's the GMing, it's the front office. They're the ones that have stopped. And again, it's not all the front office, but most of it's the front office. And when it's foundational, what happens if a foundation cracks? What happens if a foundation makes a mistake? It's like a toppling of a house of cards coming down. And it doesn't happen all the way or fall down in the beginning every time, or maybe sometimes it falls down at the end, but it's weak. It's not held by a good foundation. The Joneses are fucking us. Have been fucking us and will continue to fuck us for probably the end of time.
I know.
And I'm saying, so we can blame Dak or Romo or whoever, but it ain't them.
I do have to criticize one thing.
Go ahead, hit me up. I love getting criticized.
Anyone who said, no, not you.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry.
Guys, it is not all on Dak. If you think it's all on Dak,
I mean, yeah.
I have some beachfront property in Kansas to sell you.
I got a bridge I can sell you.
You can say it's majority on Dak. You can not like Dak. You can think he's not the right guy. You can think he sucks. But if you're sitting there blaming the entirety of our playoff loss or losses on Dak Prescott, you're fucking dumb. Mm-hmm. No way around it. Sorry to tell you. Marco Seppian, $2 holler. Appreciate you. He said Romo had weaker teams and played when the East was good.
Yeah, I mean, the Eagles won a Super Bowl there, with Dak Prescott, the quarterback. I know the Giants won a couple there, or at least one, right? No, 2 of them, right? Yeah, he won. Eli got 2, right? Washington didn't do shit. Eagles, they went to 2 Super Bowls, right? 1-1. I'm just saying, to me, I think Dak and they had the similar difficulty in the NFC East. There was some points. You remember we almost won the NFC East with an 8-8 record? We lost to Washington because of Romo's bad interception. I'm just saying that. Those are when I think we almost won the East with an 8-8 record with Tony Romo. To me, or 9-6, it was a 9-6 record. That wasn't a good NFC East either, right?
Yeah, shout out Ramon and Carolina. Dustin Roberts saying, I've been hearing excuses for Dak for years, but we've had more Pro Bowl players than most teams, so you can't say that talent excuse.
Oh, I agree. No, I agree. I'm not even saying the talent's the excuse. I'm saying that the talent we had was good, but at certain positions, we needed more. We had a great offensive lineman. Mm-hmm. And we didn't even have a good. Dak was sacked the most when we had a receiver by committee because no receivers were getting open. But we still had guys make the Pro Bowl. That's great. But just like you look at MVP or the stats, so you can't judge it all on that. It's more context. So Dak, he might have been getting, again, have a lot of talent on defense or have talent on the running back or have talent on offensive line, but didn't have any at receiver. Then we have talent at receiver. We're missing the tight end, or we're missing, we have Jason Witten in his 18th year. And then, I'm saying we don't have the guys needed to do what needs to be done on that field consistently.
Yeah.
So you're always missing a piece here. The Joneses don't get a whole complete team. We got talent, but it's not where, for Dak, we need talent all around. And we just can't give him a little talent here, a little talent there, and this position here, this position there. The last 2 years, how's been that offensive line for the Cowboys? Pretty bad. It's been pretty bad the last 2 years as a whole. I'm just saying, that's part of it. It's not only it's also McCarthy and Kellen Moore. When you have a bad offensive line or you're missing this piece of that, you got to readjust. You got to adjust. You got to plan B this shit. Kellen Moore never plan B shit. And at least McCarthy tries a little bit. We saw it last year switch up after that bye week. But I'm just saying, things are made more difficult without needing to be difficult by the front office. That's the bigger issue than Dak.
I know.
Please understand me, family. Please understand me. I'm not saying Dak is blameless. He is definitely not. I went 10 minutes into a description of why Dak Prescott, was never going to be that guy, like that Mahomes or the Aaron Rodgers. He's always going to be the guy right below that, which means if you want to win the Super Bowl, you got to give him some talent consistently around him.
Yeah, I don't even deny what Sled had saying. MCF, you have more faith in Dak than I do.
Yeah, no, I agree.
We certainly see, and that doesn't mean we have blind faith. Again, our belief in Dak is based off of what we feel are quantifiable facts and things we've seen. Now,
John Simon.
Gotta take a second here, because John Simon with his $5 holler.
He got that 5 on it.
He said,
What did he
the
say?
last $2 holler I had cost me many thousands of dollars when I divorced her.
I think I know what that means there.
All I'm going to say is, it could cost you even more in child support. So on the bright, like right on the bright side, at least the divorce was just like a one-time Band-Aid, or not Band-Aid, a one-time wound.
Yeah. Well, hopefully it'll continue. Hope there's no alimony in that state.
True.
Damn, brother. I'm sorry to hear that. Hopefully this $2 holler definitely won't cost you. This 5 on it won't cost you.
Thankfully, this one is very straightforward. It was only 5.
Yeah, so appreciate you, John. And hey, John makes the board here. Gets on that board.
So
repping it here with us tonight.
And by the way, Marco Sepien did follow that up with a $5 holler.
Oh, did he?
You would have to be an idiot to blame Dak for everything, or say, say he sucks. The question is, can we surround him with enough talent? Because McCarthy will be gone.
Yeah, that's the big. That's how we should kind of. Well, first of all, when that drop hits, I see it here on my side. He will be taking over, baby. Not just back to 100 points on the Stream Boss, but he's number 1 on the overall board by inches. As he was referring to that. By inches. He takes the lead, at least right now, before we wrap this thing up tonight. So much love to Mark when that drops. He'll be back fully loaded. He'll be in first place on the overall board. As you can see already, I've placed him there. And that means he's sponsor of the week coming in with that. And it sounds like Skeptical is going to take that... the gifting membership, and the crown and the Cash App is going to be glorious. So we're going to have a big party with different people representing these boards. Looks like next week. Even when we had a short week, a 3-day week, we appreciate everybody here and on the After Dark sessions, chilling and repping it here with us. Even if you're not Cowboy fan, we know some of you guys aren't. You love that star for everything, though.
There you go. And there's Marco Sepien's $5 holler.
Yeah, you said you read it already. Yeah, and I agree 100%.
Cleveland Brown, what's up?
Cleveland.
He said it was here earlier.
Yeah.
So, and I'm so sorry, John Syme, because he did say she got me on child support too.
Oh, baby, you spoke too soon there. Damn. Well, you see the wife's face right now.
I know. I'm like, damn.
She's like in disbelief.
I spoke too soon there.
Damn. Wow. Well, it's good to see that John Syme kind of,
Oh, I hope the kid is cute.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I
know that's what I told myself a lot in those early days. Like, damn, you're lucky you're cute, kid.
Listen, brother, again, he's in there. He's hanging. John Syme's in the house, and appreciate the fourth wife, the upfrontness there.
Did you just say appreciate the fourth wife?
The forthrightness is what I was going to try to say. It didn't sound right, so I switched it over.
I was going to say, I'm like, where are your wives 2, 3, and 4? Please, let me know. Let me know so I can go say hi.
Hey now.
Hi with my car. Anyway, by the way, the final here, little $2 holler by Mr. Marco Sepien said, Mr. MCF, I don't understand the word inches, damn it.
Sorry, you guys catch me off guard with your jokes tonight. Sunday night, fun day night. Kind of ending here for the stream. But yeah, I mean, listen. By inches, he pulls it out. Wait, that didn't sound right.
Pulls it off, I think.
Pulls it off. Yeah. Oh, well, he dropped another 2 on top of the... He's fully loaded. Fully loaded. With that $2 J-Lou holler. So,
shout out to you, Mark.
100% agree about Marco saying about the fact that, it's not all on Dak. You got to be dumb if you believe, like you said. Be an idiot if you think it's all on Dak.
But I think it's a fair question to ask. Like you even said it, can the Cowboys do the things that need to be done to build things around Dak? Because so far, they haven't really... done that.
Right, so taking away the Joneses clown show bullshit, okay, the things they've done to mess up the weapons we had for Dak, taking that out of the mix, I do have to throw that question. Even with the pieces that we were missing in the past, some other quarterbacks could overcome that. Some other schemes and coaches could overcome that. And even the defenses could still overcome that sometimes. Even look, I think that when you look at the Ravens, they had a good tight end. Everything else was average, a decent offensive line, and a good running back. Average receivers for the most part. So they still got through because they couldn't score a touchdown in 5 straight games. But with their defense, they didn't let anybody score over 7 points. So they would just kick field goals and win, the Ravens. Now, I'm just trying to say like that to me.
There's lots of different ways to win, right?
Back in the
Shout
2000s,
Jason Renfro, much love.
Jason in the house. Much love to Jason. By the way, I'm just letting him know he is currently going to lose his 5-week streak of gifted memberships as we're wrapping this up literally right now. So I just want to throw it out there since he's stopping in here. Appreciate Jason Renfro repping that star over everything. So, anyways, I think that I think you get a better coach, Mark. If you get we get a better coach I've been screaming his name, Bill Belichick type. You get a Bill Belichick coach in the house. I'm not going to say it's Super Bowl that year, but I'm going to say we could take Dak. You know, he'll know what I think I would trust Bill Belichick to identify the things that Dak will need to be to get over the hump, so to speak, on offense. And I think he'll build the rest of the team the way he needs to be built, hard-nosed and tough, defensively, offensively, but he's a defensive mind, Belichick. Point is, I think that would be one of the best ways you can get Dak Prescott on his last couple of years to get him over that hump. I think that a great coach would make the difference. I don't think Mike McCarthy's a great coach. The only reason I say Bill, look, even the greatest coach will still have to deal with these guys, and that even Bill Parcells had left because of these motherfuckers. He built the Romo era. He built that team out of nothing. And these guys basically were in every fucking every single coach and players meeting. Guess who was interrupting it? Stephen Jones. Jerry Jones would pop in there. The fuck? Bill Parcells is not the kind of guy that's going to take that shit, and neither will Bill Belichick. You know what the one difference is, though? And I'm going to keep saying this, the one difference about Bill Belichick than any other coach in the NFL outside of his great record? The Joneses and Bill Belichick are friends. Stephen Jones, Jerry Jones, and Bill Belichick are friends. They ain't McCarthy. This ain't Kellen Moore. This ain't Jason Garrett. This is Bill Belichick. The legend is friends with Jerry Jones. Now, you could say he's like Bill Parcells. You could say, okay, the difference is if Bill Parcells says, listen, Jerry, get the fuck out of my goddamn, he'll say right in front of the team, Bill Parcells, he probably had to hold his tongue a little bit, but Bill Belichick is the kind of guy that, being friends and friendlier with somebody, he will say, listen, he'll take Jerry and Steven he'll say, listen, I cannot have you coming in here anymore. It's the way it's going to have to be. And that's something they have to establish. If Bill Belichick's not going to be the GM, then they have to establish that these Joneses cannot keep popping in all their fucking players-only meetings, coaches-only meetings. You can't fucking do it. Exactly. And so I think that the only person that can convince the Joneses to do that is Bill Belichick because of their friendship and his legendary status that follows him here. That, I think, is the only thing that can save us right now.
Or what I personally think.
That was me. You give me yours.
Yeah, but Belichick is Dak/Jerry's last hurrah. Jerry,
so they're throwing the Hail Mary to Bill Belichick.
He is not getting any younger. This is the most he is willing to concede and admit that he'll have to give up control of the team at some point, and the only way he's willing to do it is with the perfect excuse of, well, Belichick is here. Of course I would give up control to Belichick. Man,
it makes it look
I'm not even joking.
better.
I've thought about this for a while. There's no graceful way for Jerry to bow out unless he literally just fucking dies. And I don't even mean that in a rude way. I mean that in
the realistic way. That's the reality.
Only so much that can happen there. So what better way of doing it than this way? And also, this is Dak's last hurrah. Because if Bill Belichick can't fucking save you, we don't want you here either. If Bill Belichick can't come in here in the last 2-3 years where we're paying you these big bucks, so to speak, after McCarthy has at least, polished you up and made you worth keeping around again, then Dak is done. He's gone. Throw the whole team out, and we're going to be rebuilding. Maybe under Belichick, maybe not. Who knows? Because he's also not really in I'm trying to build the whole team here.
Yeah, I don't have so many years, too.
So
I'm looking here, again, like bad intentions. We're not giving Dak a pass. We're just trying to be realistic about the situation, and you got to be realistic about things. There's only 2 or 3 quarterbacks that are elite. The rest are Dak or worse. We don't have Patrick Mahomes. We don't have a younger Aaron Rodgers, right? We don't have the Russell Wilson that pulled out a Super Bowl and got back-to-back Super Bowl. Those guys are gone. Those guys are not here. We don't have them. We don't have access to them. So the next step is reset and start over. It's not Trey Lance is going to save us. Exactly. It's reset and start over, and let's see what happens. The only thing I'm trying to say, and that's what I'm trying to say because I love that star over everything and everyone, over the Dak Prescotts, over the Tom Landrys, over the Emmitt Smiths, my favorite player. It's the star over everything. So fuck Dak Prescott. It's the star over that. And I think that what gives the Cowboys the best chance, that star, to get that 6th Super Bowl, Is it resetting the team for having 5 years of hoping that we can maybe make the playoffs? Or is it get Gall out, get a real coach? You got yourself a top 10 quarterback. Add the pieces you need around it through the smarter coach, the better coach, and make one last run with this crew. That's all I'm trying to say. Like, I'd rather do that and reset it in 2 or 3 or 4 years than reset it now and definitely not win shit. And definitely have no chances for anything. And it might be better in the future, but you know what? It probably is worse. Because as we know, we've done this before. We've done this study. Took the whole decade of quarterbacks picked in every single round of the draft. And like 3, maybe 3 you would take over Dak Prescott. Maybe 3. Now, I'm not talking about in the recent years, of course, with guys of unknown status, a Trevor Lawrence or a Joe Burrow, or, higher levels. You might want to roll the dice with them over Dak. I feel you. I understand that. But when we did this 4 years ago, and you had Carson Wentz's and Jalen and a whole slew of shitty quarterbacks, even the biggest Dak hater couldn't say, we got to roll with Dak. If you want to have a chance, we got to roll with Dak. He might not be the answer, but we got to roll with Dak. Because the other guys are definitely the losers. The loser of the answer is, blank. It's Paxton Lynch. You can draft the Paxton Lynch. Now what you're going to do? So, again,
then you end up...
Yeah, well, then you have not just 2 years of rebuild. Now you have 6 years of rebuild. So before we get there, and we still got a decent fucking defense and a decent fucking offense, let's get a decent fucking coach in here and get the shit on the right track. If not, we lose. But at least make an effort. Howie Roseman makes an effort with the Eagles, and they lose, but they get to the Super Bowl, and sometimes they actually win a Super Bowl, right? Under Howie Roseman and his GM tutelage. So it's just like that. It's not the quarterback. It is the way that GM runs the team. And Jerry Jones, getting Dak on the team could have been the worst mistake of his life, but he handled it wrong. And that's the way Jerry Jones handled it. That's why you don't like Dak? Blame Jerry Jones the way he handled that situation if you have a problem with Dak Prescott. Blame the owners first because they're the ones, not the owners, the GM. And that's Jerry Jones. He's the GM. He's still making that $9 billion.
When you blame Jerry, you get to blame the GM and the owner. Yeah, that's how he likes it, and that's how he wants it.
2 for 1. 2 for 1. Anyways, on that note, it is time to wrap this baby up. Yes. And read off a couple comments. I don't care if they hate on Dak. I don't care. I like it.
John Syme said, I hope he loses his bowel control and bumper-to-bumper traffic. Eddie Pulido said, I hope Jerry loses his vision soon. Brandon J said, Cowboys draft Patrick Mahomes to win the Super Bowl. Hey,
I love that.
Even we could have probably turned Mahomes into
Well, listen, Mahomes under Garrett, we don't win a Super Bowl. But Dak with Andy Reid, they win a Super Bowl. They win a Super Bowl.
Maybe not as many. Maybe
no, they might win
good.
1 instead of 3, but they win a Super Bowl. You know what Mahomes does in Dallas? Maybe conference championship at best.
That hurts. Seabass, much love. By the way, he's cracking up. He's like, I just didn't want to say it when I said my comment about Jerry.
Seabass said it either.
Bad Texas said, y'all can keep giving Dak Prescott a hallway pass, sticking the pacifier in his mouth, but we're done doing that.
Yeah, he says that Dak's taking up 23% of the cap. You know why? Because the Joneses did not restructure his deal. Because they didn't restructure his deal, it's going to be $55 million. That's not where it's supposed to be at. With an extension, it goes to like 12% of the cap. But the Cowboys never used it. The Cowboys chose to not use the cap. That's not Dak's fault. That's Jerry's fault. Jerry Jones and Stephen Jones, capologist, Schmucko 101, these are the guys that are handling the money that you're complaining about, not Dak. They're the ones that are handling the mismanagement of this team. That's the blame, not Dak. Dak is part of the blame, but the main foundational issue are the Joneses, and them's facts.
So, let me keep rolling here with the shout-outs.
These are shout-outs and comments.
Yeah, of course. Sledhead50, Philly. I don't know about him being Andy Dalton of the Bengals, but of course a big mahalo to Marco Seppian.
Hell yeah.
Dustin Roberts, Cleveland Brown. We have, let me see, who else is here? Even you real shit. Jason Renfro, much love.
Yeah.
That's Modius in the house. Exactly. Dak's not playing damn defense. Ramon Carolina Jones, take it easy. We have, let me see who else is in here. Coming back down, Juan Carlos, rocking out. Have a great night. Yes. Brandon J, all of you guys, again, huge shout out to everyone here. Appreciate you all.
Baby, I want to, since we're wrapping up this week, first I want to say a big shout out to the people that dropped the love here tonight. Skeptical fan gifting that membership. And guess what? Yes, Mr. Jason Renfro, 5 weeks in a row. But he's been bested now. It looks like Skeptical fan has won the gifting membership board with the 1 on it. That's all he needed. He got it tonight. So congrats to Skeptical. If he holds on to that, first place all by himself there. And now officially the champion of the gifting membership board. John Syme, much love. He dropped the love in the house here tonight as well. Marco Seppian, with his drops, took over first place, and he's going to be our sponsor of the week. He's back at it again for on the top of the board. Man, we haven't had an MCF family member from here, I think, other than Jason Renfro. Now we got our second family member here in the last 2 months, because usually After Dark style. So the MCFers are coming back here on the main channel and taking over the sponsor of the week board once again. We had Jason Renfro, I think, last week. Now, we had McLovin repping it. Now we have Mr. Marco Seppian going to rep it starting tomorrow. So big shout out to Marco Seppian there. And hey, the king of the Cash App for 2 weeks in a row, back to back, like our 90s Cowboys, was McLovin. Big shout out to him repping the sponsor of the week and the Cash App board. But this week's winner in the Cash App, believe it or not, it is Gloria.
Oh.
Gloria. Some women representation here, repping that star. Gloria is not really part of this channel too often here. She's on the After Dark, but she is a Cowboy fan. So go Cowboy. Cowboys got the boards back. Got Skeptical and Jason Renfro repping the gifting board. Mark's got the Stream Boss and the sponsor week. And Gloria is taking over the Cash App. So appreciate all the Cowboy fandom spewing and breaking the seams here at MCF. Yes, My Cowboys Family and the After Dark sessions. So thank you guys on that side of things. Cannot do this without your love and support and your comments in the chat, but baby, now it's time to break it down for the week and come to an end. And I want you to tell everybody why we do this crazy shit every single day and night of the week.
It's that navy blue, that silver too, and that star over everything.
Yeah, guys. Win, lose, or draw, good, bad, or ugly. Here on MCF, we always rep that star over everything. And here on My Cowboys Family for 7 years, almost 7 years on YouTube. Never forget the number one thing here, now, and forever. As always, go Cowboys. Let's get that 6 and beyond. Thank you all for dropping your knowledge in the chat all night long. All night. Yes. Thank you guys. Hit the like John's saying here. Subscribe and the notification bell. Follow us on Twitter, X, at My Cowboys Family, and all that good stuff. And again, guys, thank you for dropping your knowledge in the chat. Thank you. Truly appreciate and humbled by your love from above. Big Mark taking over there. Skeptical taking over the other board. Appreciate you guys always repping that star over everything as we get ready to clock out and drop out for tonight, for the week. Kick off a new one probably starting tomorrow. Assuming there's some kind of news, we'll be back at it. We know Tuesday, it's time. The Cowboy veterans and rookies on that field together on Tuesday. So at the very latest, we'll be back Tuesday kicking off the new week. But don't be surprised if we're back here tomorrow as well, repping it. And hey, we'll have the new reps here on the boards showing out. So thank you guys. Once again, the knowledge, the drops of love. And before we clock out and drop out for the night, the week, and start a new one tomorrow and relock and reload for another show, baby, before we can drop officially out of here for the night, let everybody know what we got to do before we drop out of here for the night.
We got to drop the beat.
Oh, yeah. That beat's been dropped, and it's a wrap right here on My Cowboys Family. Guys, once again, truly cannot do this without your love and support. You could be anywhere on the internet. You're here with us, chilling, watching, listening to some Cowboy news, info, and updates. A wrap-up of the night here for another MCF Cowboys chat. Hell yeah. And I see you in the chat, guys. If you don't know, you got to know. Go check out MCF After Dark for a little bit of fun here after the stream. We'll see what happens. A little post-party for those that join it. Anyways, we spoke about it all. Even CDs like auntie, grandma clothing. Oh, and we got ourselves a tie, it looks like. Is Jason Renfro coming for one more to break the tie? We shall see. Congrats to Brandon. He's got that membership, and thanks to Jason Renfro, we got a tie now. Skeptical fan and Jason Renfro. But, yes, we spoke about grandma, auntie, Ceedee Lamb. We spoke about Jerry's, meeting with Dak's agent, maybe, at Dak's Faith Fight Finish Gala. We talked about it all. If you missed it, jump in there. Leave your comments down below. Here at MCF, it's about that navy blue, that silver too, and that star over everything. You know it here, guys. Never forget the number one thing right here, my Cowboys family. Much love to everyone in the house. Can't do this without you guys. Again, hit that like button for the stream. Subscribe for the channel. We're past 36K, on to 37K. And, of course, that notification bell. Make sure it's set to all videos so you know when I'm going live. On that note, guys, have a great, safe rest of your night. Tomorrow, we'll see you back soon. Peace, much love, and never, ever forget, Go Cowboys!